Tensei Shitara Slime Datta Ken, WN, Chapter 224. Venom and Ario's fight continued in the plaza outside the church. The outlook was bad for Venom. The difference in their strength can't be covered with just luck, but it could be said that he'd been fighting pretty well. TCH. As I expected, this is hard. Venom thought so while regenerating the left arm that had been cut. At this rate, his defeat was just a matter of time. It hadn't been 3 minutes since the fight started. However, he could sense that the people had begun evacuating from the place. Venom guessed that Masayuki had conducted it well. He buying some time seemed to be turning out well. Well now. To defeat this guy, my power is definitely not enough. If there's some kind of chance, even though he knew that the situation is getting worse gradually, he has no other choice but to continue with the intense offense and defense. In order to break from this situation, Venom needs to think of a plan. We relate, but will help. I will try my best not to hold you down. The arrival of Kenya and Ryota changed the situation. You kids, I don't want to be hated by Ajira, so don't die. Venom shouted while dealing with Ario's attack. To be honest, Venom was irritated of the idea of borrowing the children's power. However, his defeat is just a matter of time, so it's not the time to complain. Both of them are strong. Well, I will use them. That was what Venom really thinks. I get it. Shishao has said it many times. Yeah. If we died here without his permission, Shishao would probably kill you, the two said so. And then, for that reason, let's go all out. Kenya, we're using that. Yeah. Spiritual armament reforged activate. Glittering lights wrapped both Kenya and Ryota. And then, the arms they got from Rimuru were worn on their body. It was the armor that Rimuru made with Hinata's spiritual armaments as the reference. Its performance is better than the unique class spiritual armament used by the Holy Knight, but it hasn't reached legend class. However, it could be said that the arms will grow according to the growth of the person who wearing it. It's the newest product that should be called as advanced weapon, evolving type arms. Above all else, the equipment has good compatibility with the children who integrated with spirit in their body. Although Rimuru had experimented and made a lot as a hobby and it will go wasteful lying around, such is the reason why he gave it to the children. He would never imagine that it would be useful in this place. Ario seemed to perceive the danger, as there was a slight impatience in his expressionless face. So does Venom. Heh, those kids. They have almost the same energy amount as me. I thought they might be strong, but to be this extent, Venom was amazed. In fact, Ryota is about half of Venom's. As for Kenya, Venom felt the energy is almost equal to his. Their skill is trained by Ajira. Venom finds a good chance to win with the reinforcement that's stronger than he thought. And so the fight will be fiercer. While watching the children's participation, Hinata muttered. It can't be, spiritual armaments. That is the church's secret arms that can't be used by Holy Knight unless they were loved by the spirits for it to be easily mass-produced. As expected from the abnormal demon lord Rimuru, her impression was mixed with surprise and admiration. Everyone from the church have a similar expression with Hinata. Apart from Nicholas, who is a magician, Leonard and Fritz were lost for words. Naturally, it's because looking at 12 or 13 years old children showing more fighting power than a holy knight. Above all else, moreover, elemental knight, spirit knight, is it? My master, Izawa Shizue, had talked about the ultimate fusion form of human and spirit. Neither Shizu-san nor I can reach it, the strongest knight. Is that the appearances of those with hero's egg hatched? Surpassing the holy knight, humanity's strongest knight, the elemental knight. Well done, Masayoki Dano, you train those children splendidly. Rather than my training, I'd said it's those children's power. When such topic suddenly brought up, Masayuki hurriedly denied it. What I taught to them is just special move poses I saw in manga. How can it be called as a training? Masayuki denied it while being tired with the same flow of event. Ha ha ha, don't be so humble. Even if you didn't say it, everyone knows it. Saying anything is useless, so it's reflected in his companions' faces as Masayuki trying to hiding his embarrassment. And, the same excitement runs through those who heard the conversation. Quickly hope rises inside them. To Hiro Masayuki's companions. To the people who evacuating. To the knights and soldiers who guide the populace. Do you hear it? They seem to be stronger than Hinata-sama, who is the strongest holy knight. Hero. Are those children hero too? They are Hiro Masayuki's apprentice. So a hero's apprentice is also a hero, then there's no need to be scared of just a single angel, right? What, it's not a big deal, right? Stupid. That's wrong. Hiro Masayuki-sama is amazing, you know. I see, that's right. As expected of Masayuki-sama. And so, like this, the people's anxiety dissolved with great speed. As a result, the people who were trembling and agitated have calmed down, and so they continued the evacuation smoothly without problem. Masayuki learned that anything he says is useless. That's enough, if with that everyone's anxiety gone, I'm fine with it. Afterwards, Masayuki concludes that his task is to stand up with confidence face, and so he takes the stance to watching the fight attentively. For this reason, there's something only Masayuki noticed. Wasn't Kenya's group is a party of 5. So, one of them is missing from the group. They are Kenya, Ryota, Gale, Alice. Who's the other one? Maybe I'm mistaken. I only know 4 people. Although he has noticed it with great effort, Masayuki concluded that it's just misunderstanding. Because the children influenced by Masayuki were only 4 people, that was the truth in a certain way. Masayuki quickly switches his thought and prayed for Venom's victory. And so, about the fight, Venom was in one side defensive fight until the situation changed completely with the children's participation. Venom creating a gap in Ario's defense, which then Kenya attacks. It became a coordinated attack. The secret was telepathy. Venom allocated some of his computing process and enabled telepathy with the children. With this, it's possible for them to communicate with super high-speed thought. While the 3 are fighting, they were in a conference at the same time. Listen, kids. You guys can fight somewhat, but you guys are still weak. Therefore, don't overconfident with your power, do only what you can do. Roger that. Understood. Kenya and Ryauta delightedly answers. Venom begins to instruct the strategy. Ryauta, you'll be our defense. We're lucky that your attributes are water and wind. While healing me and Kenya when we are injured with water attribute, devote yourself in defense with help of wind attribute. Listen, the strategy is messed up if you're injured. Be careful. Yes. I'll be attacking with the assumption of getting injured. I'm expecting your healing. However, healing magic of holy system which will damage a demon is no good. I'll kill you if you making a mistake. Dante, don't worry. I've studied, I'll not make a mistake. Alright? But, prioritize your own safety. Don't make a mistake, okay? Okay. The key of the strategy was Ryauta's healing. Like this, Venom doesn't need to worry about healing himself as he's keep on attack. Well, even if Ryauta failed, Venom thought that he will manage somehow due to Masayuki's luck. It's because he can't win against Arios unless he takes a drastic strategy. Next, Venom instructs Kenya. Kenya, you will focus on offensive. Although there's healing from Ryauta, I want the healing to be focused on me. So, I want you to use your strongest attack at the time that it will surely hit. Get it? No need to do the impossible. If you get inured too much, Ryauta's healing won't catch up. Because I will desperately seal that guy's movement, you must think a way to make him accumulate damage without panicking. I get it? In short, Venom-san will be the tank, right? Venom nods to Kenya's question. He often heard the term during the training in the labyrinth. Tank is a vanguard who tanking vigorous attacks of melee-type monsters single-handedly. Judging that Kenya has understood the strategy, Venom continued his explanation. Exactly. So, listen. That guy seemed to be a former human, he's still relying on his eyes when fighting. That is his weakness, understand? Yes. We had been taught by Hakura Shishao and Ajura Shishao. Or rather, when I rely too much on my eyes got crushed, you know? That's a common sense. Venom nods to those words. Using full potion, any body part loss can be recovered. With such reasoning, Hakura and Ajura seem to have calmly crushed the clueless children's eyes and trained them. Those two, they are demon. Kenya and Ko seems to accept the training without a problem. They have become stronger. So Venom convinced inside his mind. Alright, it's good if you two understand it. That guy didn't lose his habits from when he was a human, he's unconsciously protecting his eyes and important organs. We use that against him and attack. However, pay attention to his sword. Defending against it is pointless, don't think of stopping the sword with a weapon, understood? It feels more dangerous than Zijin-san's absolute severance. Venom smiles and laughs when he heard Kenya's response. In fact, the power of Ario's sword was above Zijin's absolute severance. Although, even if both are same in the point that you can't defend against it, Venom thought that Zijin's ability that doesn't need to rely on a medium like a sword to be more troublesome. In any case, Venom can only praise Kenya for being able to see accurately the opponent's strength. As expected from Hakura and Ajura's training, Venom raised his valuation of Kenya. And so, confident with the success of the strategy, he's fired up to put it into practice. Alright? Well, you guys don't be unreasonable, okay? Well then, game start. Through such exchanges, the fight against Arios begun. With Ryota as support, Venom attacks Arios with everything he got in order to break through his defense. Kenya then attacks Arios in the gaps. Arios, who receiving the attacks, shown a bit agitation on his face, but he immediately dealt with it calmly as he didn't get any fatal wound. Although, by unconsciously evading attacks that he doesn't need to evade as Arios is a spiritual life form, he didn't notice that he receives attacks that shouldn't hit. Arios fell completely into Venom's plan. There were reasons why Arios didn't notice Venom's plan. The first one is he should have already defeated the opponent who is lower ranked than him normally, which make him feels irritated. But the problem was that his original power was sealed. By Velda's order, he was forbidden to attack the downtown area. For Arios who violated the order and acted individually, violating the order more than this is taboo. Therefore, he was restricted in using his ultimate skill weapon Lord, sword weapon. As Venom and Co felt, if Arios unleash the sword's power, he can release Severance Wave which cut everything. However, the power is too big and it will affect the city as well. Arios was placed in a situation where he could do nothing but to fight Venom and Co with such restriction. This was all due to the effect of the lucky field created by Masayuki. Arios, who looking down on his lower-ranked opponent, but unaware he was caught in a dilemma. It can't be, for these annoying people. They're standing in front of me with their half-baked ability, while being annoyed, only time will passes as he will not receive any decisive attack. Getting impatient about that, Arios didn't notice that he gradually losing his calmness. If he was calm, he would give up on killing Hinata and quickly withdraw. However, Arios didn't make such option. It was like his thought disturbed and can't make clear decision. As a result now, finish off this guy together with me. So Venom shouted. Arios' sword which pierced Venom's stomach can't be pulled out as it had been ensnared by Venom's magic power. He has no problem erasing the sword once, but he will receive Kenya's attack directly. In that case, Kenya, leave Venom-san's healing to me. Yo. Unlimited Justice Bringer 1. A single flash. Arios, whose decision gets derailed by hesitation for a moment, receives a direct hit from Kenya's strongest attack. Even Venom, who suppressing Arios, was cut in two by the terrifying sword attack. Kenya's enhanced spiritual power could exceed the limit for a brief moment. That's because the divine protection of Spirit of Light which fused with Kenya, worthy as a future hero, he reached the level where he can destroy even an awakened demon lord. In other words, I'm impossible with those as his last words. Arios was swallowed by the torrent of light and disappeared. They did it? That's Masayuki's impression. Kenya's technique was amazing, but his pose of accumulating power closely resembled the special move from manga that Masayuki taught. That becomes a really amazing power. Although he was dumbfounded by many things, he can only accept the reality. Yes, as I expected. Kenya, you seem to have mastered the technique I taught you perfectly. Masayuki praised Kenya with a refreshing smile. His inner thoughts aside, Masayuki and Chan, did you see it? I did it? Masayuki nodded to Kenya, who smiling. Cheers of the people who were delayed in evacuation began reverberating, announcing the end of the fight. Like this, Kenya might stand out as a hero more than me from now. I think it's a good thing. While thinking it's convenient for him and sprouted a smile, Masayuki didn't notice that his smiling face charmed everyone. Meanwhile, hey, please heal me quickly. Despite being cut in two, Venom seems to have escaped from the torrent of light somehow and making a fuss. Ryota, Alice, Hinata, and also Nicholas came running. Everyone used healing magic and so Venom regenerated without problem. Of course. Self-sacrificing myself, it doesn't suit me at all. Venom hiding his embarrassment while saying such thing. However, Venom has secretly obtained the source of ultimate skill weapon Lord, sword weapon, as he shrewdly stole Ario's energy. It was exactly as Venom's calculation. Normally it's a strategy with low chances to succeed when put into action, but his decision that it was worth to try it was correct thanks to Masayuki's presence. Venom wins the gamble and obtained more power. When Venom was healed and things calmed down. Where is Kuu-chan? Ryota looked around and asked such question. Noticing the same thing, Kenya also searching the surroundings restlessly. Ah, Kuu-chan is gone. She goes out as she pleases again. Kuu-chan liked unusual things after all. Gale and Alice let out a sigh, they answered like they gave up on the matter. Again. It can't be helped then. Since we slipped out to come here, it would be bad if she doesn't return soon though. Kenya's worry is not about the person called Kuu-chan who seems to be their companion, it was towards the fact that if they didn't return quickly, their absence would be found out and get scolded. Who is Kuu-chan? To Masayuki's question, the children answer all together a friend. Ah, they're a group of 5 from the start after all. While thinking so, Masayuki stopped thinking anymore by understanding that it was another child he didn't know. There's no need to be worried now as the enemy is beaten. The children start to search for their friend in order to return back quickly. And so, Masayuki and Ko was busy with the cleanup afterwards in order to eliminate the anxiety from the people of royal capital as they originally intended. In the sky over the royal capital of Ingracia Kingdom. Damn it, while shouting so, Arios spits out a rough breath. Arios managed to escape from the worst situation thanks to duplicate body that he prepared just in case. It's not time to get flustered. If I'm thinking calmly, I can grasp that the enemy's fighting strength is significant. That brat has such much power. But, knowing it now there's however Famu. As expected, everyone think alike. It's as Rimuru-sama says too. Ario's thought was interrupted as he heard an innocent child's voice. To not get noticed by Arios who specialized in stealth, who the hell is this person? With that in his mind, Arios turns around in astonishment. A young girl with black hair was standing there. No, it was not a young girl. It was a very bewitching and beautiful woman, which makes him wonder why he mistakenly saw her as a young girl for some reason. Her beautiful mix of silver and gold long hair flowed gently down her back. Staring into her eyes, Arios was shocked to the extent that he couldn't breathe. I am Kumara III, Lord of the mythical beasts, the faithful servant of the great demon Lord Rimuru-sama. Chimeric Lord Kumara, it's I. Well now, the introduction is over, it's time for farewell. Having said those words, Kilmara sprouted a charming smile. Don't underestimate me. I don't care who you are. This place is far from the city area. Do you know what it means? It means that in this place I so noisy. Please be silent. Without time for Arios to react, his neck is in Kilmara's hand. Kilmara's expression is like she was disappointed. And then, a sad expression showed on her face. I never think that you four would be weak like this. This is due to Venom's efforts, but how disappointing. Kilmaru lets out a listless sigh while saying so. She wants to do great works and get praised by Rimuru, but it can't be helped as there was almost no turn for her. What is more problematic than that? Now, I wonder what excuse I'd said to those children. How will she explain to the children? That's what occupying her head. And then, she returned to her child form again and flew towards the royal capital while worrying.